Welcome to another in our series of scholarly habits for Greek exegesis. We are focusing on the second habit, scholarly debates in Greek word studies. We are focusing on now how to synthesize multiple Greek lexicons as you work on creating a word study outline that you'll write a 4 to 5 page word study paper from. We are looking at synthesis for two Greek lexicons. We're taking an example from ἐπιτιμαω in Luke 17:3 for the pericope, or we might say paragraph in Luke 17:1-4. Now, our outline that we developed in part 1 of this for a multiple source word study looks at an introduction that provides which word, verse, paragraph, and chapter, which defines the word, a BDAG entry, for example, first because the BDAG entry in a lexicon is considered the most recent scholarly lexicon. Then you would compare it with the Thayer. Then you would provide compare and contrast. We're going to actually dig into how one does that. Now let's look at the BDAG entry we developed, the summary we developed in looking at the BDAG lexicon for ἐπιτιμαω. Our definitions were two: to express strong disapproval, to rebuke, to reprove, censor, to also speak seriously. We provide that summary of the definition. We can quote some portion of that, but since it's probably been covered again, we can just simply refer to it. We can indicate it that is punished. This is what we're covering in the BDAG entry, and later I'll go back into the summary. So in your BDAG entry that we discussed in another video, we developed how you would provide this definition, the expression of strong disapproval of someone, rebuke, censure. You might put that as your quote and reference the BDAG. The second definition is punish. Then we look at definitions. We selected the first definition because it has our passage in the BDAG. Luke 17:3 is actually listed under the first definition. We then looked at scriptures and recapped them. We noticed that rebuking one another, disciples rebuke parents bringing children, Pharisees told Jesus to rebuke his disciple. Jesus uniquely tells about a gentle reproof or correction of your brother, and then Jesus reproves men not to reveal his identity and rebukes his disciples when they want to call down fire on their village. Now that's contrasted with the Old Testament Zechariah 32, where God rebukes Satan. Jesus does similar things by rebuking demons or forces of nature. And an epistle, Jude in the 9th verse, gives a similar image to Zechariah. So that provides our general thing. We then would look at our Thayer, because first we've done the introduction, we've provided the BDAG entry, then we provide the Thayer entry, which has 4 definitions: to show honor, to raise the price of, to adjudicate, to tax, or to tax with fault. We notice the 4th definition fits Luke 3, and it also fits the same as the BDAG. Now we look at the scriptures, and as my discussions in part 2 and 3 showed you, that most of the scriptures were the same. And if you have difference, we found that there was one in Psalm 19, Nahum 1:4, and Malachi 3. Psalm 119 is true, God rebuking the arrogant. Nahum 1:4 and Malachi 3 are rebuking natural forces, the sea or a destroyer of grapes. So what we say in our comparison, and this is what this video is all about, is how to compare. We have selected the same definition, and we find that the other definitions, punish in BDAG or honor, shame, cost, reward, are similar but not quite. We note that the scriptures are mostly the same, and there are 4 different scriptures. And we summarize the type of rebuke: to people, Jesus to people, or God to nature, and demonic. Now we say in the people to people that this rebuke is a gentle rebuke. Now, next we'll look at the same sort of information in part 5 using the Theological Dictionaries. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to continuing our discussion as we look at the theological dictionaries, way they look at ἐπιτιμαω.